Okay, so this is where we left off in the last video. So I'll go ahead and continue on to step 6, which is using the line segment tool, which is just your line tool. And it wants you to change the stroke size to 4 pixels. So let's do no fill, because it's a line. There it is. And then the stroke has to be this dark color we've been using. Ooh, I think it's this one. And 4 pixels, or 4 points. Okay. So let's do this first line going across it like this. And if it's too thick, then for you, if you wanted to take it down, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to leave mine as is. I'm going to draw another one going this way, and one more going this way. Let's do that. Okay, so that's the gist on how to make the windows with the line segment tool. Again, you can adjust the stroke size if you need to, but let's go ahead and group all of these objects now. So you want to click on this bottom tower object first. Hold down the shift key the entire time we're clicking on these items. So holding down shift and selecting all of these items. So it should look something like this when you're done clicking on them. And you could either do Command G or Control G to group. That's the keyboard shortcut. You can also do right click and then select group. So now when we move any part of this, any shape, all of it's going to move with it. Okay. All right, step 7 is combining several triangles and trapezoids to create a central tower of the haunted Halloween house. So let's get to it. So the first shape at the bottom is a triangle, so you could also click once and then change the number of sides like that too. So, oops. It's kind of big triangle like this. And it's actually a couple triangles, so you can do Command C, Command V to paste, or again, if you hold down hold down Alt Option, you can drag out another one and then just scale this one slightly down. Okay. All right. So the other object, you can use the pen tool to create the center object, or you can grab the rectangle tool and it kind of goes up like this, and then up at the top it goes into a point. So let's do, I'm going to do add anchor point and put one here in the middle. And then I'm going to delete these over here. No. I need to add more over here. So before I delete those, I need to add one here and then one here. I'm doing it right, almost like where it overlaps with this triangle over here. So now when I delete them, that's much better. Should look something like that. And you can adjust some of these scales too. Oops. I'm going to bring in these points at the bottom a little inwards to give them a funky little shape. And this is the one that doesn't want to line up. There we go. Okay. And then the diamond shape up at the top is similar to this one. So there we go. So tower something like that is pretty good. Okay, and we're going to add the windows as well, but instead of doing it all over again, I'm just going to double click a couple times until you're in isolation mode. Hold down Shift and then just make sure everything that makes up the window is selected. Do Command C or Control C to copy. And then we're going to hit Escape to go back to get out of isolation mode. And you're going to do Command V or Control V to paste. And let's go ahead and mirror this. So to do that, you can right click, go to transform, and then reflect vertically, and then hit OK. I'm going to rotate this a bit too. And move it. Oopsie. Let me group the windows together. Okay, Command G, and then I'm going to move it up. Like this. Oh, that's fine. I could technically scale this down or move this down. There we go. At this point, it's just me being really picky. All right. Let's group these again now. Command G. Step 8 says select the left tower. So that's this one, the first one we made. Take the reflect tool O and then click on the top of the center tower while holding the Option Alt key. That's a little complicated, so we could just do Command C to copy, Command V to paste it, and then just do right click, transform, reflect, vertical, and then OK. All right, now we have to create a rectangle that's going to close the hole between all the towers. Let me see. You do not have to center any of this. This is, again, my OCD. I'm going to center this tower. I'm going to bring this one over a little bit closer like this. This one. I actually need to send it to the back, so right click, arrange, send backwards. There we go. So something like that. And then the rectangle we're going to create is just going to cover that at the bottom. I'm going to bring up my layers and just make sure the rectangle's behind all of them. You can also, again, do right click and then send to back, but I just like the drag and drop method when we're going behind a bunch of different objects. All right, so let's go to step 9 now, and that's creating a rectangle in place where the door should be. I'm going to move these slightly up. Right there's good. Okay, so let's grab the rectangle tool. Let's do this yellow that we made earlier. Okay, and then you want to grab these right here, double click them a couple times, and then hold down Shift and double click the other one. So you want to make sure only the top two are selected and not the bottom ones. And you're going to drag these inwards like that. Okay. Grab your selection tool. It says to duplicate and then change the color to the dark blue. So again, my favorite way is if You hold down the Alt Option key, click and then drag a copy over. Let's change the fill to this dark blue. And it wants you to like overlap it like the door's cracked slightly open. Okay. It wants us to create a line down here. So let's grab our line segment. Oops, let me deselect really quick. All right. Line segment. Come and grab that. Actually, there's no fill for the line. And we want the stroke to be this yellow color. And I believe it starts at the end of this one and it goes across like that. I'm gonna do mine to be a little bit thicker, maybe 2 points. See how that looks. Okay, looks good. And then it wants us to do another line towards the bottom. Ooh, I'm gonna do this like that. Grab the line. This one, it wants us to start it somewhere off here. Okay. So these would like be the steps. All right, so grab your selection tool next and then click on both of these line segments we just made. So remember, hold down Shift to click on multiple items or select multiple items. Then you're gonna go to the object menu up at the top, blend, and then make. Then you're gonna go back to object, blend, blend options. And this is the specified steps we have to enter, and you're going to hit the number 2 like it asks. And it should look something like that. And then hit OK. Okay, so let's do a quick file save to save our progress, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.